Hi, my name is Syed and I have a group member, Sharia. We are student of GNet 126, Occupational Health and Safety. Our topic of research is effects of work stress on personal health. So, what is stress at workplace? Stress at workplace is a kind of a body reaction to a situation where, where the body is not or the mind is not feeling comfortable. It's a global issue, so it's not like confined to some region or some ethnic thing. It's a global issue. Different research groups, companies, and the individuals working towards the identification of factors which are causing stress and try to work towards their solution or try to do some workaround or mitigate this stress. The stress is not caused by situation itself, but how someone manage or in other words react to the situation. It happens when there's a conflict between job demands on the employee and the amount of control an employee has over meeting these demands. The research says that in Canada, approximately one-third of the employees are affected by the high occupational stress, and the most of them, like 45% people, are around from the occupation, health occupation. Stress could be positive or negative, depends upon how someone tackle the situation. So impact of workplace stress and reason. So stress, as I said, might be a positive or negative. It all depends on how we take or react on the situation. So how it is positive, if we take as a challenge and try to motivate ourselves to do better, learn something, that's how we can make the stress or convert the stress in positive. How it becomes negative, once we start taking stress on our mind and body, so we have kind of mental issues, we could have physical health issues. There are many reasons of occupational stress. Some of them are like tight deadlines, higher expectations, too much work, lack of training, downsizing, conflict with others, etc. etc. There could be two kind of effects, like I said, psychological effects and physiological. The first front that hurts by stress is the mental health, which could which could make our confidence very low, increase chances of making mistakes. Poor mental health is associated with could be working evening shift, high job strain, low supervisor and low co-worker support, low autonomy, low control over practice, a lack of respect from supervisor or co-workers, and high role overload, or maybe higher expectations. What is the physiological effect? Initially, if we start stress, we could involve into kind of a habit which are not good for our physical health or our mental health, such as smoking, eating disorder, less or no physical activities. So when we start feeling stress, we try to do some kind of a runaway thing. These kind of the things like smoking and eating disorder could be the like a runaway. Stress can cause physical problems such as high blood pressure, cholesterol disorder, heart diseases, weight issues, fatigue, diabetic, weakened immune system, headache, and others. There are a number of problems could be arise by the stress. The first or the common one are like headache. You could have breakout. You could be in depressed, which is kind of a initiation of other diseases or the other physical health problems. And as we said, like blood pressure is a very common reaction of the body towards the stress. Sign of stress at work. Two ways to look at the sign of stress at work. works around like high pressure environment, workload, tight deadlines, peer influence, and many others. These are the things which a person could look and see if they could be stressed by having these kind of situations. And once this situation occurred, the people could have symptoms like mood swings, bad behavior, regular headache, jaw pain, neck, shoulder or back pain, and many others. From here, my colleague Sharia will take over. Thank you.
Thank you, Syed. So I'll be covering the rest of the presentation now. So I'll start with the conflict between workplace stress and personal life. So there is always this conflict, like when someone is working, like maintaining a work-life balance, so that like his work doesn't hamper his family life, or neither family life hamper works. It's very important. So like lacking a proper work-life balance is a pretty common problem. Like it's a global problem, and it's among most of the people, like maintaining a balance between their work and maintaining family. So when this kind of situation happens, people usually get stressed, and that is where it eventually affects their health, their job, and maybe eventually their family life as well. So work life conflict is basically of two types. One is work family conflict, and the other one is family work conflict. So work family conflict is when stress at work hampers family relationship. So for example, somebody is having a bad time at work, maybe he's not getting a promotion, maybe his salary is not getting raised, or maybe he's having problem with colleagues, they're not helping it out, or he's maybe too much overburdened with workload and everything. Then he get that person get too so stressed out that he cannot give proper time to family. When he comes back home, he don't speak to the family members properly, maybe with the kids or the wife. So what happens that eventually create an unrest kind of situation at home, and eventually the stress, I mean, instead of that stress getting reduced, it keeps like putting more pressure on him. And the other one is the family work conflict. Is this a kind of a situation when a family event or like a home interfere with work? So for example, someone having a very tight deadline on any kind of work, but suddenly uh, certain situation happen at home that he has to be at home, cannot go to the work. So that is a kind of situation where he has to uh, prioritize his family over work, and that is where his work got hampered. So in any situation, whenever one interfere with the other or hampers the other, there is the situation where conflict between these two arise, and that creates stress. So the next is ways to keep work and personal stress separate. So there are a few ways that people can do it. It's like prioritizing their responsibilities, like they need to prioritize what they need to do first. Managing work time efficiently to finish work within work hours. So when you are on the work, like do your work properly, manage your time properly, so that you can finish your work within the work hours. Spend quality family time when you're home. So whenever you're home, forget your work, like leave your work at work, and when you come back home, just you the person who be at home, spending time spending time with the family and giving proper time to the family, and try not work or family comes in each other's way, as we explained in the previous slide. And limit negative talks, that also a good way, like to keep your mind positive, to keep the stresses away. And share problems with a friend. So sometimes there might be problem you cannot share with a colleague, cannot share with a family member as well. So you might have a friend, you can share with him, and they can come up with good ideas so that you can get rid of that stress. So the next is ways to manage stress. So there are several ways, and every way is very different, and every people have their own way of managing their own stress, but these are pretty basic one. So the first thing is to we need to identify what gives us the most stress at work. So we need to identify that situation, and then according to that we need to take action, like what we need to do, how we can never get rid of any stress, but it's like how we can reduce the effect of that. And then healthy lifestyle always give people mental strength to fight stress. So whenever you have a healthy lifestyle, you do exercise, you keep yourself healthy, you eat healthy, obviously a healthy, I mean, when you're healthy, your mind will be fresh and it will have more strength to fight any kind of stress. And we should always draw a boundary between work and personal life. There should be a thin line between them so that they don't come in each other's way. Take a break when you feel like it's going too much. Just take your family, go for a vacation, or with friends, go somewhere, spend some time, make your mind fresh, then come back to work so that the stress doesn't impact you. And know how you can relax yourself, so that is very important. You need to, like, a person need to know how he can relax himself, because that is one of the key component to reduce stress. So at the end, we'd like to give this recommendation, like things, everything in work should be uh, taken care of before they get out of hand. We need to identify the cause of stress and respond to it. Employees should be able to discuss matters with their supervisors. If there is no two-way communication between the employee and the supervisor or the team lead, there will always be that stress or that burden. And integrate exercise in your daily routine so that you be healthy, to keep your mind fresh to deal with any kind of stress. So at the end, we'd like to conclude our presentation saying that stress is a part of our life. We need to accept that there will be stress in our life and we need to deal with it. It is a state of mind, means like it is us who control it. Like it is our mind who let a situation to become stressful or not to, or to make it less stressful. So it is impossible to get rid of it, as I said before, but we can control our mind, we can control the level of stress, and that's where we can reduce the effect of stress in our life. So that's all about our presentation. That's all the references where we got all the informations from. So that's all our presentation. I hope we have presented you impactful, we have presented you a good topic, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for listening to us. Thank you again.